right. Thank you, guys. Wow, that was awesome. Welcome to Unity of Tacoma. That was the Katie Jane Band, right? So you're going to say, hey, let's do it again. That was so much fun. This is the first time they've been with us. I want to introduce them and thank them for being here. And it's so awesome because, you know what? That is just a new sound we haven't had here at Unity, so we're really excited. Thank you. We're looking forward to the rest of the service with you here. So thank you. Well, welcome again to Unity of Tacoma. My name is Reverend Erwin Johnson, and I am the spiritual leader for today. However, I do have a special guest. We have Stephan Plummer here today, and she is going to be, you know what, I never asked your pronoun. What do you prefer?
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Don't call it late for dinner. Okay. I go by the pronouns she and her. So this is who I am. And I would like to welcome you if this is your first time, if you've never been here before. I'm so glad that you found us. And if you've been here before and this is the second, third, or 10th time you've been here, we're so glad that you're back. We're always happy to see you here at Unity of Tacoma. Whether you're in person or online, you are still with us in consciousness. So exciting to have you here. So I would like to start us off. We're going to have a special discussion, something a little bit different that we haven't done before in the past. We're going to have an interview type style where Stephan and I are going to have a wonderful conversation. We have this wonderful new program called our IDEA program here at Unity of Tacoma. And it's really exciting because we have decided to name this program after two of our favorite people who have transitioned over the last couple of years, who were really a big part of just how Unity has evolved and where we are today. And we miss them, but we know that their consciousness is with us today as we start this IDEA program, Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Access. And so today we are celebrating the LGBTQIA plus community here at Unity. And so our IDEA program is now called the Burks and Lewis IDEA program after Deborah Brooks and Mary Ellen Lewis. So we're really excited to be able to do that. We have a wonderful plaque in their honor, and it says Unity Center of Tacoma, Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, Access, or IDEA, in loving memory of Deborah Brooks and Mary Ellen Lewis. And it says transforming lives and inspiring people to make a difference, June 2022. So we're really excited to have this. We just know that they're watching us from wherever they are in their next incarnation. And it's really exciting to have their presence and to remember that they are still with us. So this is going to be a really exciting program, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, but let's start off our service today with the prayer for protection. And for those of you who know it, can say it with me. And those people who are new to this prayer, just listen. It's a wonderful prayer, and it doesn't take too long for you to learn it. So let us pray. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So let's continue on in prayer. We'd like to bless this service, the way that we're moving forward today, the way we're moving forward as an organization, the way we move forward as a community. It is such a blessing to be able to get together in person and also to be able to share what we have to offer to people online through live streaming and the support here. We're so grateful for all of the people that we have here, from the musicians to our guest speakers to the people in the audience here in person, to our staff, Kamai, who does our technology, and Denise, who sets up everything else. To all of you, we are so grateful. And this is a wonderful opportunity to be able to share our new IDEA program going forward and being able to just be a new incarnation of Unity of Tacoma. So again, we are so blessed, and we let it be, and so it is. Amen. So we're going to have Katie Jane Band come back, and they're going to play again, and then we will go right into our affirmations, message, and readings. Oh, it's such a pleasure. It's so wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much. Wow, that's awesome. So I would like to go into the portion of our service where we have our affirmations. And usually I have a podium in front of me that holds all of my wonderful notes. But today I do not have that. So I have this wonderful thing called a lap. And so that's what we're using today. Our affirmation for today is together we embrace our individuality. We celebrate our uniqueness with full acceptance of all people, including every expression of the divine. Now, that was quite long, so I will say it again. Together, we embrace our individuality. We celebrate our uniqueness with full acceptance of all people, including every expression of the divine. And our reading for today is from Reverend Michael Gott. And for those of you who are maybe in the musical world here at Unity, you know that Michael Gott is a musician as well as a reverend. But he read an article for Unity headquarters that I picked up yesterday, and this is an excerpt from that article, and I thought it was absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to read it today. When I was 3 years old, I was given a cast-off baby doll by my teenage babysitters, 2 sisters who lived down the street. I loved that doll. Her eyes were supposed to close to mimic sleep when she was on her back, but one eye always stayed open. About half of her nubby hair was pulled out of her scalp, but it didn't matter. Julie and Anita had given her to me, and I loved her. When I brought her to Sunday school one morning, it became very clear that I had violated some tribal law. My dad was not okay with his son carrying a baby doll in public. It was taken away. I cried a lot, but then I got over it, or so I thought. Years later, in a spiritual exercise during a retreat, the memory of the doll surfaced, containing all of the grief and confusion I'd felt at 3. I hadn't thought of it for years, but there it was. And part of the exercise was to name the belief that was formed in my consciousness at the time of this event. It was instantly apparent. These are the words that I wrote. If I show up as who I truly am, the people I love are harmed. The moment I wrote it down, I recognized that this belief had been silently controlling me for decades. That at a deep and unconscious level, I had been editing myself so that people I cared about would not feel uncomfortable. I had come out as a gay man years before at age 19, and by the time of this exercise, I had already done significant internal work. I thought I was living authentically, but it was immediately clear to me that those early messages had stayed with me and shaped me. So many times I stopped myself from saying what I really felt or expressing what I really wanted because I knew my partner or my friends or my family members wouldn't like it. In that moment of clarity, I was able to take a stand of authenticity, no matter the cost. I was being asked to live my authentic life on a whole and new level. That was Michael Gott. And I love his music. You know Michael?
Yes,
Yeah. Have you
yes.
met him?
I haven't met him, but
I haven't met him
familiar
yet.
with his music.
Yes, it's wonderful work. So I want to introduce Stephan Plummer. Stephan Plummer is a good friend of Unity of Tacoma, been here several years and also plays as a musician. But today we are here to have a talk.
Okay.
So I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
All right. So why don't you start off by just telling us a little bit about you?
I was born in a small town in Virginia in 1960, and I was the 12th of 13 children. And a very musical family, but a lot of dysfunction. Just crazy, crazy dysfunction. I mean, it would take me like a whole day to talk about that. So just a lot going on. Yeah.
And how did you get here to Washington State?
Well, when I was 16, I ran away to the West Coast because I heard it was like my vision of California was sunshine and happiness, and I thought that's where I want to be. It was sort of like being over the rainbow in my mind, so I headed out. I actually hitchhiked to California when I was 16 and worked under the table in some factories and stuff that would hire me so that I could make a living. And I worked in the Sweetheart Company, okay? The one that makes the cups and the bowls and all this, the styrofoam. And I was on third shift. And I had it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just remembered looking up. I was half asleep, and all this stuff was just flying at me, and I had to pack it all in the boxes. And that's when I really knew I was on my own. Yeah, just, I had to get away from Virginia. It wasn't working for me at all.
So why is it that Virginia wasn't working for you?
Okay, well, when I was 3 years old, I remember standing at the window, and I remember looking out. My mom was feeding the chickens. It was a very beautiful day. And I was standing, and I was kind of up on my tiptoes, and I was looking out the window, and I thought, life is perfect. I'm a little boy looking at his mom feeding the chickens, and life is perfect. Until I found out that everybody was like, no, you're not a little boy, you're a little girl. And I was like, I took very much offense to that. And so I just began fighting, I was like, no, I'm not a girl. Stop calling me a girl. And then they would put dresses on me, and then they would put the crinolines on me. And I mean, it was really, really bad how I felt about all that. And then I learned that when my mom said, no, you really are a girl, I believed her, and that really hurt. And from that day on, I just felt like I was on my own since that moment that my mom said, no, you really are a girl. And it felt so foreign to me, but I felt like I was in a position where that was going to be a role that I would be expected to play. And I didn't know what that meant, but I suddenly did not feel like myself anymore. And that I was just this, and I was so young to be getting all this information, but it was hitting me on all levels, like emotionally, and just all these things were tumbling out at that very young age. It's pretty amazing for me to think that I was that young having all of those emotions, but I really was. It was very intense.
So when you were really young and when you were with your family, did you go to church? Were you?
Yeah,
active
we
in
were
church?
actually involved with the local Pentecostal church, which was, it had lively music and everything. I mean, we had a great time there, until I got a little older and found out that, being gay was about the worst thing you could be. And then so whatever I was had to be even worse than that. So I had nobody that I could relate to, no one I could talk to. No one that looked like me, that was like me. I mean, I had no reference point at all. I felt like I was completely on my own.
So when you came to the West Coast, did that change? Did you open up to spirituality again? I mean, here you are sitting in Unity Church.
Right.
I mean, how did that evolve?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
I didn't, my spirituality didn't happen until many, many years later. What started happening was I just started isolating more and more. And what came out also was I was starting to have anxiety, panic attacks. And so I started doing more music, but I was also isolating more. I started drinking alcohol, became addicted to alcohol for a number of years, but it started out being a way to medicate myself, because when I drank, I felt better. And it took the edge off of I didn't have to think about, it was almost like a way to zone out. I didn't have to think about anything really. So then, and being a musician and drinking, I mean, it sort of went hand in hand. And so it's just a long journey of that, of the more isolation, more becoming more defensive, feeling like I had to fight the whole world. I didn't feel like I belonged in any church. I was told that, people like me were abomination, in God's eyes, that God didn't even hear my prayers. I was told that, I was nothing, and I have family members to this day who, I have a sister who doesn't even talk to me to this day. only based on what she thinks my, so-called, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, like my choices or my lifestyle. I think they use that one a lot. So it's still, 2022, it's still, with me. It's been with me the whole time.
Right.
So all these years, yeah.
So when you got here and you started going through all of this, how did you reconcile that and get to where you are today?
Say that one more time.
So when you got here to the West Coast and you started to go through all that you went through, how did you reconcile that and then get to the level of consciousness or
Right.
or thoughts that you have today?
Well, I almost died from my alcoholism after about 12 years. I was in the last stages of alcoholism. I was talking to my paintings on the wall and feeding my, beer to my plants. I mean, I was just really out there, and it was starting to I was starting to have all these physical things that were happening. My heart was racing. Sometimes I'd have to go to the emergency room. I mean, I knew that I was going to die, and I started praying to God. And I just said, God, what I would really like is if I could have some sort of a life where it's not just all of the stuff I've been through and alcoholism. And if that's possible, that's what I would love to have happen before I die. Because I know that I'm at this place that if there's not some kind of intervention, like a miracle, I'm going to die. And I just want my life to mean more than this, if that's possible. And I kept praying it over and over, and I would get drunk, and then I would have hangovers, and then I would cry. And I had this wall that I always looked at when I was hungover in my bed, and it sort of became like my equivalent to my wailing wall. And I would just cry and cry and cry out to God or, to help me. And it was really interesting because I met someone who had 2.5 years sobriety. And I didn't know anybody who had sobriety. And we became friends, and she helped me a lot. And it was like, my ship was finally coming in, where I was getting these resources that was going to be able to help me. It was very much divine intervention. And, there's a saying, in the Bible, if you pray with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, that, that your God will reveal to you the desires of your heart. And then, so that was revealed to me that I did want to live. And then I had to take the steps, though. But it was like, the way I would describe it was, I woke up and I was just in hell. And I had to take one step out of hell every day. And that's how I made it through the alcoholism, because it was very difficult. And I had all these issues that were, all these things that I hadn't dealt with, which is like real life. I had been avoiding everything. And it was just like everything wanted my attention. Well, what about this? What about this? And they call it flooding. Mm-hmm. And so I just started right where I was. And some days I couldn't even get off the sofa. I just would wrap up in a blanket and just shake the whole day and cry, shake and cry. And but every day I was committed to taking one step away from that towards a more sane life and dealing with all the, I got into counseling, some pretty intensive counseling. And I remember walking out on my deck one morning, and, there's that scene from The Wizard of Oz where it's like it's all in black and white. Mm-hmm. And then, all of a sudden she walks out and everything is in Technicolor. So I had enough sobriety. I probably had a few months. And I remember I woke up that morning and I walked out on my deck, and it was in the spring, and everything I could hear birds singing. I saw green grass. I saw the blue sky. I mean, everything just came alive. And I realized in that moment that all those years I'd just been living in just gray, probably since my mom said, "You're a little girl," was the beginning of probably when I started living in this gray existence, because I knew there was no place for someone like me. Mm-hmm. I didn't see anybody out there that represented me, so I just figured, I was just the oddest, weirdest, thing. I almost thought of myself as a thing. I'm not even sure I thought of myself as human. But that was the moment when I began to come alive. And then over the years, I remember many years later, and I hadn't gone to church at all. I was committed to never step foot in a church. And all of a sudden, a friend calls me, and she's like, hey, there's this place called Center for Spiritual Living, and they have a minister who's female, and gay people sit right on the front seat, arm in arm. And I'm like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Tell me another one, right? And she's like, no, it's for real. And I said, you're lying. And she's like, no, seriously. And I'm like, I got to see this, right? So I went and checked it out, and sure enough, just as she described it, and it started me on this journey of coming back into my music, of feeling accepted for the first time in my life in church. I was told that God loved me. I was like, whoa, this is pretty wild, right? Because I really wanted to be close to God. Obviously, I'd asked God to save my life, but I didn't know how to be close to God. It just didn't seem like there was a place for someone like me. And so the Centers for Spiritual Living, the Unity churches, and I remember sitting on my sofa one day, and I thought, I want to do a CD of my own music. And it was like this voice just said, would you write spiritual songs and bless the people with these, God songs? And I said, yes, but I've never written a gospel song. And then I heard, but you will, if you say yes, right? And I said, okay. And I wrote like 14 songs in like 2 or 3 months. Everything came pouring out through me. And I was brought up to the stages of, Center for Spiritual Living. I got to sing in Benaroya Hall. I got to meet people that I'd only dreamed of meeting and working with. I just suddenly got elevated to this place. I wasn't quite sure how to deal with it, but I think I dealt with it just fine, with God's help. But so it's still, the spiritual journey is still very much of a journey for me.
Yeah.
Because it's still kind of new, and it's still, in a way, it's still kind of foreign, because I still have, the memories of how hurtful it was to be so rejected for so long. And it's, it's a hard thing.
So now that you've come all this way, where are you today? Where do you feel you are today?
Well, in a lot of ways, I feel like I've come full circle. For quite a while now, I've wanted to put back. The goal that I have really is that I want to leave this earth better than I found it. I want people to know what their possibilities are. Like, I want people to look at someone like me and say, wow, if that person can go through all these things and, live to tell about it, and to really live my life. I feel much freer. I feel happy, I feel like I want to contribute to life. I see people differently because I'm an adult, and so I don't feel so much as judged as I feel people just don't understand. Like, I'm sort of like a unicorn. Like, I'm a unicorn walking down the street. It's like, well, what do you do with, this unicorn person or whatever? I mean, like, most people have never met someone like me. 80% of people have never met transgender, or, I mean, I'm not transgender, but I'm like, I'm what I describe, which I don't really know what I am, okay? I mean, I was born female, but I never felt female. So I've had to live with that. But then now it's like, well, I mean, I would never want to do anything different with my body, because I'm already in my 60s, and I just wouldn't want to do that. So I'm just a spirit in a body, okay? It's like, okay, we're gonna go with this the way it is, and hopefully just have a nice balance. Mm-hmm. But I just want people to know that, wherever you are, whoever you are, you have endless possibilities. You really do. And you can come through all kinds of stuff, and you can find support groups. You can find people who will support you and love you. And if I can just let one person know on the planet that, what's possible for them, like, because what really lights me up is when a person gets lit up by their possibility, and then I feel like that makes a difference. Like, sometimes people come up and say, "Oh, I want to learn to sing just like you," and I'm like, "But what do you love to do? Like, what do you sing like? What's your voice?" And just to encourage people, like, what is your voice, and come out with that, because I think when we start those kind of conversations, then we can find some kind of mutual ground where we can find peace and love and harmony. Like, not even, maybe you don't even agree with me, maybe you don't like me, maybe you don't know where I'm coming from, but if we have a conversation, then we can, converse about even that, even the really tough subjects. So I just invite people to be willing to have the tough conversations, to be willing to, talk to people that agree with them, don't agree with them, like them, don't like them, and then what is their possibility in that of what's possible for them to bring forth on the planet that does make a difference, because I think world peace is people being blissed out by what they're doing, and that coming from place is from the self. So I really love what I'm doing because I get to go and sing in churches. I feel very loved and supported in so many communities. And I mean, I started out feeling like zero support and zero connection with anybody. And all I ever wanted to do was to check out because there was no place for me. And now I don't feel that way. Like the opposite of checking out, the opposite of addiction is connection, and community. And so I'm willing to fight to be in community, even though it's not real comfortable for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure it ever will be. But I'm willing to go in that direction because that's what I'm committed to. Like, I'm not really committed to my feelings or my thoughts. I'm committed to my commitments and my dedication to spirit, even though I'm still learning about God and where that all fits in. I just don't feel like I have a lot of things figured out, but I feel like I'm on a wonderful journey that is taking me to, higher and higher places. And so I write a lot of songs about, elevating, just raising up the consciousness and for people to feel better, about everything, and hopefully encourage people. That's what I really want to do. So
that is your gift. Yes.
I think it is a powerful gift. And I thought about many times, like, why did, sometimes I would say, why was I cursed? Why was I this person who had to go through all this, and why me? And now I feel more like, and I think more like, it actually is a gift, because every person that's different, is visible, that people can point the fingers at, or they can point somebody to hate. At least it brings forth an awareness that something different is there. Because if there's nothing there that's different, if there's nobody there that's different, then everybody's just kind of going around and it's all calm. And then someone like me shows up and it's like, whoa, I'm not comfortable. And then that would be something that I would have to deal with. Mm-hmm. So, but I think it's a gift, because I think God said, hey, you're going to be that person who helps to, because look at it now in 2022, there's things happening now, and there's freedoms and there's visibility that I couldn't even, when I was 17 years old, Anita Bryant was on the TV saying, that she didn't want gay people to teach her children in school because all they can do is recruit people to be gay. This is like the mentality that I grew up in as a teenager. And now look at it, So people like me has made a powerful difference in just being visible on the planet. And so I just celebrate I celebrate more and more who I am, and I don't want to fight with anybody. But I'm okay with debates, and I'm okay with sticking up for myself. And that's taken me a long journey to be able to stand up for myself. Because usually I would just kind of go off and and now I'm like, hey, wait a minute, let's talk about that. But to bring people in, not to isolate, I really want to bring everybody into the conversation, because that's called global peace, right? I mean, that's what unity is all about, right? So I'm at Unity today for a reason, so yeah.
Well, we thank you so much for sharing your story with us and
You're welcome.
being authentic and just letting someone else know that that you are here to represent what they could be. And we're so appreciative of your voice, and we just love you.
Thank you, and I love you too, and
Yeah.
I'm very honored to be here. I thank each and every one of you, and I just want you to know that you can make it. You can live a powerful life, and I just encourage you, wherever you are, just find the gold within you, because it is there, and the world needs more unicorns. The world needs more diversity.
Yes.
Because it is actually very diverse. It's just being willing to come out and to say, this is a safe enough time. This is a good time to come out and be who you are. And so I just wish every person, I just bless each person in your own individuality to bring that out and share that with the world, because that's what I call world peace and happiness.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's give her a round.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to invite the Katie Jane Band back up to do their thing, and we're going to go into meditation. Thank you. You did wonderful. Yes, it's beautiful. Thank you. I'm nervous too. I love you. Hug. God bless you too. place of comfort and go into meditation. Whatever is comfortable for you, whether you're sitting on the floor at home or on the couch, or if you're lying in your bed, just get comfortable, feeling your feet planted on the floor, taking a deep breath in and letting it out. And as you exhale, just letting go of any stress or strain that you might be holding in your body. As you inhale, just inhale light and love. And exhale any negativity or anything that may be holding you down. This is your opportunity to just get relaxed and get in touch with your body and how you feel on the inside. So often we're busy with our lives, so many things going on around us and to us. We have to work. We have so many chores and so many things on our to-do list, but this is not the time for that. We're going to drop those away, setting them down for just a minute. You can pick them up a little bit later if you want to, or you can leave them there forever if you'd like. But this is your opportunity to just let them down, let them go, and just get in touch with what's in your heart. And as we sit here, we allow our muscles to relax, our shoulders to feel loose, allowing our arms to be relaxed in our laps or next to us. And with each inhale and exhale, we continue to get more and more relaxed. And as you sit here, you can feel yourself supported by the object you are sitting on or the bed you are lying on, just feeling yourself completely supported, completely safe. And as we sit here feeling comfortable and safe, it's time to look at yourself. In this moment, how do you feel? There are no wrong answers. How you feel right now is absolutely authentic, and it is who you are in this moment. There is nothing that you have to be other than who you are right now. Because on the inside, you are who you truly need to be. However you express in the world is your choice. You can choose to be authentic to yourself. You can choose to keep that private. But the most important thing is that you are authentic and affirming of who you truly are. And who you are is always right. It is never wrong. Because we here at Unity believe that God works through you, that you are the hands and feet of God. And so there can be nothing within you that is wrong or out of sync or is expressing incorrectly. Your true self, the true expression of God through you and as you, is absolutely beautiful. And as your true self, you are loved, you are supported, and you are guided to be the best you can be. Your greatest good is always available to you if you choose to take it. There is no pressure to express or to be anything other than who you are. Right now, In this moment, in this space, you are completely safe to think, to be, and to feel whatever you would like to feel, knowing that God's love is there for you if you so choose. And as we sit here for just a moment in the silence, just think about and appreciate your true self. Not the self that expresses as something other than what you would like, other people would like you to be. This is who you are. When the doors are closed and things are not being shown to the world, who are you? What do you love to do? This is where you get to focus on your authenticity and being able to express that in this moment. Just sit in that for just a second, for just a few moments, to allow yourself to appreciate all the gifts that you have, all the things that you have to offer this world, and what God has placed in your heart. And know that you are loved and you are supported. And there's never a wrong way when you're allowing this to be expressed in the world. And as we come to the end of this meditation, give yourself a pat on the back, or a virtual hug, or an actual hug, or whatever it is, to just let yourself know that you are just where you need to be right now, and the next steps will be better than the last. And the next after that, and the next after that, until you come to your full expression, and knowing even in full expression that you will have more and more to give. Allowing that energy to flow through you is exactly what needs to happen. And allowing yourself to be who you truly are is a gift to all of us in this planet. And we thank you for that authenticity. And as we end this meditation, take a deep breath. And just allowing yourself to get more and more relaxed, but more awake. Bringing your consciousness back to your arms and legs. Feeling yourself supported again on the surface that you're on. One more breath in, letting it out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your consciousness back into this space. And I'm going to have them come back and sing us another song. was so awesome. Thank you so much. It's so awesome to have them here. Oh, exciting. All right, so this is our option. This is our portion of the service where we open ourselves to give. All donations that you provide to Unity of Tacoma go to support the wonderful musicians and all of the guest speakers and any of the outreach programs like the baby diaper drive that we had a couple weeks ago, and the ones going forward as we move into the next evolution of our outreach program. We're so excited to be able to involve everyone here and everyone that's out there in everything that we do. So this is your opportunity. If you'd like to provide a love offering, you can certainly do that. You can go to our website at www.unityoftacoma.org/donate to give via PayPal. You can go to Facebook, our Facebook page, and at the top there's a donate button, and you can donate there. And again, that will allow you to do it through PayPal or use your credit card. You can use Zelle. Our telephone number is 253-576-3225, and you can do that on your through your bank or through the app on your phone. Or you can also mail a check at P.O. Box 112285, Tacoma, Washington, 98411. And so I should be looking at my notes, but I'm really not. And as we prepare to give, I would like you to hold within your hands the idea of prosperity flowing through you and as you. And as Jesus taught us in 6:38, give and you will receive. You will be given much, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It will spill into your lap. The way you give to others is the way God will give back to you. And as you visualize holding this gift within your hand, please repeat after me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for my blessings today, and I am grateful in every way. And so it is. Amen. May the blessings of your gift bring so many blessings back to you. We are so grateful for everything that you can give and your support and your continued consciousness to everything we do here at Unity of Tacoma. We are so grateful. So, next week we have Dallas and Linda will be back, and they will be our musicians next week. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about unity and what unity is and what unity is not. So we're really excited about that, and that's going to be a wonderful talk. And I will be back to lead that talk next week, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, if you like what's happening here at Unity of Tacoma, please like us on all of our social media. We would really appreciate that you followed us or that you were able to hear about all the things that are happening, and we would also like to hear from you. So please comment whenever you can, whether it be on YouTube or if you're watching this video, or also if you're on our website watching this video, please comment. There's an area for you to comment there as well. We'd love to have your interaction, even though you're not in the building with us. We know that you're there, and we would like to recognize that and also interact with you. So please comment if you can, like us as much as you can, so you know what's going on here. And if you're on YouTube, please hit the little bell and subscribe to our channel so you know what's going on here at Unity of Tacoma, and you will get announcements on what's going to happen here. And I would like to send us off with a benediction, and it's pretty short today. So if you could just get into a space of just opening our consciousness and opening our hearts, and just take this with us as we move forward in the week. You are joy. You are love. You are who you were meant to be. Be free to express your true and authentic self. Know that you are an expression of God, and this is always the right way to be in all circumstances. I want to thank the Katie Jane Band again for being here today, and so appreciate it. I love your music, and I'm going to have them come up and give us one more song. And if you are willing to do so, please stand and just allow your energy to be lifted by what's going on. Okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I will see you next week. Thank you for being here.